the Band by D.R.Priyanka Bagdi. Yes, all of us have heard a lot of things about Priyanka from everyone. Do you all want to hear it from Priyanka now? Yes. Yes? Okay, before we start off, let me say a few words about reaction.
The first reaction was very funny because I saw the peripheral smear report and like I mentioned, there was AR was mentioned. So I thought, okay, this has to be AML. Even though there was some doctors, no, when I went first, no, Ram Subramaniam sir, he said, we'll see, don't think always of the negative aspect. But no, as a doctor, you always think that if it's AR it has to be AML. That's like the MCQs that we used to learn. And the first 10 days, 1 week just went for me to figure out if I have got the right things, everything is going on smoothly. The whole thing that sinked in was after, and how the whole story went was, I was straight away into pneumonia. So I was only in CCU, I hardly saw my family. So the sink-in feeling didn't go in actually till the first 3 weeks. Around November 28th, no, when I was shifted out of the CCU, and I still remember it was around noon time, around 11 o'clock, Raja sir came and said, we'll start your chemo today. And I held my mom and I cried. I cried for good 45 minutes and then I said, see, I will not cry after this, but let me cry today. Let me understand what has happened with me. Nothing made sense after that moment. No, till then I was more figuring out, okay, I have to start my treatment, I need to do this, I need to do that, I have to figure out a lot of things. But that day it didn't make any sense. And I had to start the treatment. At 4 o'clock, I still remember my first chemo was at 4. And 12 to 1 I cried and then I went back to sleep because I got tired of crying. My body was so weak, I got tired of crying for 45 minutes. Then I went back to bed, ate at 3 and then I was all ready. Then I got all excited about chemotherapy. I don't know why.
You can expect that only from a doctor. So being a doctor yourself, did you ever doubt your treatment?
That is the most funniest part, you know. I'm sitting with Dr. T. Raja sir. You know how my first interaction with him was? He came to the isolation room and he introduced me. I am Dr. T. Raja. And I was like, sir, who doesn't know you? And then he was like, okay. And then he said, I'll be taking care of you. So I was, 3 things. First thing was Sergeant Uncle chose him. So I was very sure whatever he chooses for me, it will be the best. He chose Obgyn for me. Not many people know. I wanted to be a spine surgeon. But he somewhere chose Obgyn for me. He told me, I'll never teach you spine surgery, go take OBG. That's your true love. You're simply getting attracted to what we do, but you actually like OG, so please take OG. So I knew very well, if he can choose my career, he'll choose the best doctor for me. And then, of course, Dr. T. Raja sir, 6 months, he made sure I don't do anything. He was right there, trying to keep me hanging in there, without putting me on ventilator, just taking signs from my father every now and then about ventilator, tracheostomy. But he was very sure he'll take care of me. So not even a single day. In fact, we could have access to all the second, third opinion, but we never took. We never took. I just felt Sergeant Uncle has chosen, and I felt Lord Mahadev has chosen him for me. So it has to be there. No, nothing can go wrong. All the good people choosing the right people. So it has to go right.
Can I have a big round of applause here? Could you quote some favorite lines of yours from the book?
Sir, and can I borrow the book? So, this one particular line, it took me some time to write. It really took me about 2.5 weeks to write because I was just trying to figure out if I could frame it better. So it reads something like this. I appreciate life more and feel more focused. I don't care much about what others think about me. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I have crystal clear goals and the energy to achieve them. My spiritual outlook has widened by horizons. I am an ardent believer in karma and a devotee of Shiva. However, I strongly disagree. Many people have told me that illness is a result of past life karma. However, I strongly disagree. I don't believe my God is so small as to punish me for mistakes from previous lives or the previous birth. Instead, I believe that facing difficult situations is a part of God's plan to prepare us for greater challenges that require immense strength. If I'm alive today, it's for a higher and a better purpose. that only he knows, and I will understand it in the future. Not everybody survives cancer and gets back to their normal selves again. If I have come this far, I am sure God has better plans for me. I pray to Shiva to make me his instrument and spread joy and happiness wherever I go.
How did you manage your emotional breakdown, and what will be your advice to fellow survivors?
It's okay to cry. First, accept the disease openly. I had accepted my disease. I didn't want to go in the denial mode, which my family was in the first few weeks. But I was okay. I knew with the minute I saw AR it's AML, and I had accepted it that minute. So half the battle was won. And of course, I had my low days, high days. I have cried. I have cried once to such an extent in CCU that Raja sir and Gafur sir had to shift me out of the negative pressure room immediately. I had cried 3 tissue boxes off. And I still remember Raja sir coming and seeing me with Uditya sir. And my nose was all red. I had just winded up the crying session. By 3 tissue boxes were over, I had just winded up the crying session. He looked at me and said, "What happened to my little doctor today?" And then I started crying again. And then he said, no. Before she loses her emotional quotient, let me shift her out. Let me have her mother being with her for some time, so that before we start the chemotherapy, she's again strong enough. So yes, I've cried a lot of days. But again, I have bounced back stronger because I knew we had to be strong mentally. Mentally, physically, I had to be strong to face it all.
Can I have a big round of applause once again for Dr. Priyanka? We're now open to any question answers that you have.
No, you heard her speaking very seriously and all that. That is not true. Most of the time, she, with all these things, she is always joking and funny. We agree on few things. We like doklas and kachoris, we discuss a lot. We disagree on some things, you will be surprised to hear that. She likes Shah Rukh Khan, she thinks that, and she somehow feels that I can talk to him, I can connect. So from that day onwards, her respect to me has gone very high. So even though I told her that I like the current generation, we still are in disagreement with that. So this is, I like Vicky Kaushal, I'll say. She will be totally upset with that. So this is the conversation that we will have every day.
That's the only thing that we disagree on. He likes Vicky Kaushal more and I like Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay, so who's the better one?
Raja sir is the better.
Okay.
So Raja sir, in fact, I had just finished my treatment. He told me, go watch Pathan movie. My father was standing right behind when Raja sir told, yeah, Priyanka, go watch Pathan movie. I was not barely able to walk even 20 steps. I was wheeling in. I was getting wheelchaired in his OP and said, yeah, now your counselor, okay, go watch Pathan movie. And my dad is looking at me from there. You're not doing any of that. You're going straight home and nowhere out. But that's why sir gets the title of the cool principal. No, on my day 25 of my 7+3 treatment, yes, 7+3 treatment, it was day 25, counts had just started to increase, and so I had made one, like I told you, we were some 2 funny characters in the hospital. I told sir, can I have 30 ml of chilled thumbs up? And can you believe, sir said, yes, of course. And he told in the CCU, please organize for it, Dr. Priyanka wants it. And I was so happy. Of course, they came back saying that we don't have thumbs up, we have Sprite. I said, no, I don't want Sprite. And next day, sir actually asked me, did you get thumbs up? I said, no, sir, I couldn't. And then he said, you should have smuggled it in. What is there? You could have had 30 ml. But then I made sure that next day I had Sprite at least.
Alright, so I guess you can expect that only from a cool principal.
Yes, I wouldn't allow my patients to.
Alright, thank you so much, Priyanka. And request the audience, if you have any questions, you can probably raise your hand and we'll get the mic for you.
Actually, it's a team effort. A lot of, I was just only part of the team. A lot of great doctors, and I draw inspiration from my colleague and my senior, Dr. Babuji, she was just mentioning any difficult patient whom I think many others would not even touch for a line, or he would just like that come, smile and do. So we learn smiling and being very easy from Dr. Babuji. And she mentioned about Dr. Kapoor, our entire intensive care team, and my team, my whole team, the young doctors, junior doctors, and my co-consultants, all of them, they are the fulcrum. Otherwise, difficult diseases, it needs a lot of helping hands, and everybody being there as a team is the best answer. Okay, so I must thank my fellow doctors, my colleagues, my own team for supporting Priyanka the best possible. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Everybody faces tough times. Well, we would now like to conclude saying that the book is a must read by not only fellow survivor cancer patients, but also it's a book which is a must read for all of us here. As it is always said, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Thank you so much. Ever smiling, happy-go-lucky, and a very joyful girl. From the time I have known her, she's always been very clear in her life with respect to what she wants to do, her ambitions, her goals, and her priorities in life. She's consistently chosen and paved her own path, and everyone knows the effort it takes to earn an MBBS degree. Her grandfather, Mr. N.D. Bagdi, and the entire family is extremely proud of her. Priyanka was 28 years old when she recently completed her MS in obstetrics and gynecology, and this was in July 2022. She's an MBBS graduate from Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute. She'd just begun her professional life and started practicing. You can just imagine a gynecologist who delivers babies, someone who brings life into the world, suddenly finding herself in a life and death situation. And being a doctor, she knows what the gravity of the situation is, who knows the odds all very well. You can only imagine what she went through and how she faced it. Rather than hearing the experience and the journey from me, let's hear it from Dr. Priyanka Bagdi herself.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Sir, you just made me sound very strict. So let me apologize in case I get emotional through the speech. I've been holding some tears now since evening. I must say, seeing all of you here tonight is overwhelming in the best possible way. I think I can safely say that this is the first time I've been excited to be in a room full of people without worrying about catching cold or the need to wear a mask, sir. You must be agreeing with me, Raja, sir. Sunshine at the Bend is not just a book, it's a piece of my heart. At 28, when most people are trying to figure out if they are adults or just tall kids with bills, I got handed a leukemia diagnosis. Talk about a plot twist there now. As a young doctor, I was used to treating patients but not being one. But life has a funny way of reminding you that you are not always in control. At least for someone like me, who's always had those milestones attached to her brain. So sometimes you are the patient and the other times you are just trying to figure out how to work the hospital bed remote. Yes, that was a task. I cleared MBBS, MS, but the hospital bed remote was real science for me. Now, let me tell you, this journey wasn't exactly the vacation I had in mind. There were days when my only form of exercise was pacing around the hospital room, pretending it to be a five-star resort, well, Apollo is. But in the midst of all the uncertainty, fear, and less than stellar hospital cuisine, see, everybody here knows I'm a big foodie. But yes, I restricted myself for 6 months to the hospital cuisine. I discovered something extraordinary, the strength of the human spirit. And let's be honest, the power of social media, no, to keep you connected, informed, occasionally distracted with the reels, the food videos, everything. I had the incredible support of my family, friends, colleagues who made sure I didn't face this all alone. It was their love, along with my stubborn determination. And let's not forget the caffeine. The caffeine where? In the Apollo Specialty Hospital. You know, they serve the best coffee there, at least at that moment. The best filter coffee. The filter coffee, I will never ever forget now. It really was the sunshine through the darkest of times. Writing this book was an interesting process, to say the least. Who knew that putting your life on paper could be such a workout for your soul? It was like a therapy, but with more typos. I had a lot of typos. I wanted to share not just the story of my illness, but the moments of courage, resilience, and an unexpected humor that kept me going. If sunshine at the bend can bring a smile, a tear, or even, well, at least my day is not that bad, then it's all been worth it. After reaching remission, I realized my journey wasn't just about survival. It was about turning those lemons into lemonade and then maybe a lemon meringue pie. Because who doesn't love dessert? Well, I do. Desserts. Raja sir has told me to restrict on sugar though. I became determined to give back, to advocate for others facing cancer, and to raise awareness in a way that wasn't just informative but maybe a little fun too. This book is a part of that project. I need to thank my publishing house for being patient as I took my own sweet time to complete the book. Ruchi Masi and Preeti Bhavi, this book wouldn't be shaped the way without your constant support. Thank you so very much. And both of them are not here today with us. Now, I couldn't stand here tonight without giving a heartfelt thank you to the amazing doctors who were with me at every step of the way. Thank you, Dr. Sajan Hegde, Uncle, for being the guiding light when my family and I were lost in the fog. From selecting the right doctor to meticulously ensuring that every detail was taken care of. Your clarity, wisdom, decisive actions made all the difference during our most challenging moments. I am forever grateful for your unwavering support and expertise, which gave us the strength and direction we so desperately needed during those tough times. Yes, Uncle took care of everything for the first 10 days when my family was thoroughly lost. They were trying to figure out everything by themselves. So, thank you so much, Uncle. Dr. T. Raja sir and his team. I just cannot have enough praises for that. Sir, you were the dream team, the real superheroes in white coats and your blue scrubs. I will never forget. You kept me calm when I was about to consult Dr. Google and convince myself I had every rare disease known to mankind. Okay, I will tell you a secret here. So, when I got the diagnosis of acute myeloma, I didn't get it. So, the peripheral smear report came which showed air rods. So, most of the doctors would understand. Air rods is something we see in a lot of other diseases, but we also see very classically in acute myeloid leukemia. And I knew I had AML. I rang up my father and everything. So me, even though I was a doctor, the first thing I googled my 5-year survival rate. Now I wanted to know whether I can achieve things in the next 5 years. So the 5-year survival rate was 18%. So I immediately closed the phone. The first thing I said, okay, I will never ever Google now. I don't want to Google anything and I will never ever Google anything further from here. And that's when I said, okay, I'll just blindly follow whatever happens and follow my doctor's instructions. And let's not forget, you managed to get me through chemotherapy, sir, with more humor than I would think it's possible. Who knew discussing white blood cells count could be such a riot? Dr. Babuji, sir, you deserve a special shout out for always finding the good way. Seriously, it's like you had the sixth sense. Sir, I'm seeing you for the first time without mask. But I'm really grateful. When I was, this one small incident, when I was on day 3 of my CCU in specialty, Apollo specialty, I was on NIV, a non-invasive ventilator, and sir had been called for putting my central line. Okay, so when you're on NIV, I was on a propped up position. My head couldn't move at all. Sir genuinely has magic in his hands. He just put it in first one go. And he said, no, I don't need an ultrasound to check. I'm very sure it's in the right line. Sir, thank you so much. Dr. Vishwajit sir, your ability to explain the complicated medical jargon in a way that even I, under the influence of heavy pain meds, could understand was nothing short of miraculous. Dr. Gafu sir has left, he came first and he left first. Thank you for your relentless positivity, even when I was deep in woe is me mode. You're energetic. Good morning, Priyanka. I think everybody in Apollo Specialty will know. Sir's morning wishes is like this. Good morning, Priyanka. And it was like really the sunshine is hitting the CCU's dark doors. The good mornings were really like that. And he would say, good morning, doctor. Just hang in there. I was like, sir, the hanging in is almost over for a week. How many more days am I supposed to handle it? Just couple of days. The couple of days had long gone. But then he kept repeating, couple of days more, couple of more days. I'm forever grateful to each one of you for your expertise, your compassion, and for keeping me alive long enough to make it to this stage, literally. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also give a huge thank you to the incredible nurses and the hospital staff at Apollo hospitals, both Apollo Cancer Hospital as well as Apollo Greens Road. That's the Apollo main hospital. You all deserve medals. Seriously, dealing with me on no sleep and a caffeine drip is no small feat. The nurses who were always there with a smile, a comforting word, or just the right amount of sass when I needed it, you were there. You managed to make the hospital feel a little less like a place of illness and a little more like a place of healing. To the staff who brought my meals, cleaned my room, made sure I had everything I needed, thank you. You were the unsung heroes, making sure that despite everything, my experience was as comfortable as it could be. Okay, most of you know how deeply connected I am to my grandfather, and it brings me immense joy he being here with us today. Dadu, thank you. Ma. So that's my grandmom. I call her Ma. You're the tigress of our family, the one who's always kept us strong. I'm proud to reflect your courage and resilience. Mom and Dad, no words can truly capture my gratitude for all that you have done. Typically, a mother carries her child in the womb. But in my second birth, both of you carried me with the same love and care as if I were a newborn again. Thank you doesn't even begin to cover it. Bhai, you've been more than a brother. You've been like a parent to me. You have stared at the monitor all through the night, not letting my SpO2 drop below 94. No, my brother would just hold on to the monitor and look at it the whole night. I would wake up in the middle of the sleep and would see him just staring at the monitor. I would often tell him, please sleep. But you looking at the monitor will anyways drop or raise is not in your hands or eyes. He said, no. With my stern eyes, the oxygen would never drop below 94. I love you dearly. Diksha Bhabhi and Ekansh, your strength and support have been unwavering. To Chachu and Chachi, your endless support through every adversity has been a pillar of strength for all of us. The extended family and friends God has gifted me with, I love you all, and you give me the greatest reason to keep living and fighting with hope. As I stand before you all today, I am filled with gratitude for the second chance at life, for the love and support that kept me going, and for the opportunity to share my story with you all, especially without any needles involved. You know now how AML is to be treated, thanks to my book, and without any needles also involved. Sunshine at the Bend is more than just my story. It's a celebration of resilience, a reminder to find joy in the little things, like Sir has mentioned, and proof that even when life throws you a curveball, you can still knock it out of the park, or at least foul it off till we get a better pitch. Last but most profoundly, I want to thank Lord Shiva, the Mahadev. Through every challenge, it was His divine grace that kept me alive. I am here today only because of His boundless love and protection. I owe my very life to His mercy, and for that I offer my most heartfelt and eternal gratitude. Thank you all for being here tonight. I hope that sunshine at the bend will touch your hearts and maybe even tickle your funny bone just as much as writing it has done for me. Thank you everyone once again, and Namah Shivaya. So long, sir.
No, it's okay. So, D.R.Priyanka, she's an amazing individual, amazing doctor, and in all these difficult times, with a very difficult disease, what helped her, I think, is her positivity and ever smiling nature, and never giving up, and being humorous and taking life on it, and then facing it, fighting it. I think this is an amazing individual, and God bless her.
This book, Sunshine at the Bend, is I'm a gynecologist, and I was all of a sudden given with the devastating news of acute myeloid leukemia, which is a very aggressive blood cancer. And when 5 days into my treatment, 5 days into my disease, not in my treatment, I wanted to write a book to inspire more people, to help people who have faced such a similar disease but with more ease. I felt I had a very good outlook. I had the best doctors. I had my very good family support. I had God's support, but not everybody gets lucky. So might as well you be mentally strong. Try to deal with whatever comes, and as it comes, take it slowly, but please take it positively.
Do you have any plan to translate?
for this?
This is what she had was acute leukemia, acute myeloid leukemia. It is a blood cancer. It's blood cancers can be broadly divided as acute leukemias and chronic leukemias. Chronic leukemias are the one that goes slowly. Acute leukemias are the one that comes suddenly and they progress very fast. They multiply very fast. They are life-threatening diseases. There are two different varieties of acute leukemias. What she had is known as acute myeloid leukemia. It's one of the most difficult diseases, very dangerous diseases. It can happen to anyone. Something goes wrong in your marrow, and the cells become wrong, and they go into another pathway. They go out of control, and they start destroying the individual and destroys every other organ. It can. The point is, there is no reason. It is not due to that she or he or she had some bad habits or any diet, nothing like that. This can happen to anybody. This is just like something going wrong in your multiplication, and random accident, what we call. It can happen at any age. Young patients can have, young people can have, older people can have, and it's a life-threatening disease. But with good treatment, which is now very much available in our country, and with good treatment, with good supportive care, a lot of patients get over it, and then they can come out of the disease, they get cured, and many patients are long-term survivors and they get completely cured of the disease. There is now a very good hope that many of the patients can get better, they can get cured, and they can have a long life and a normal life.
So Sunshine at the Bend is a motivational book.
Yes, it's a motivational, inspirational book. Like, I would love everybody to read it in case you or your family member, somebody knowing to have cancer, and the minute we say the word cancer, everybody gets stressed, everybody is scared, and then they think their life has come to an end. But not always. You can always face it with absolute courage, with your mentally being very strong. So even though physically you will not be strong, how much ever you try, you cannot be strong with all the chemotherapy sessions and everything. But if you are mentally strong, trying to be positive and trying to face everything as and when it comes, it will help.
It's about your medical journey.
Yes, it is my medical journey. how I was diagnosed. It starts with a small basic thing, how suddenly the diagnosis came, and like a normal doctor, all of us have our plans. No, at 28 we finish our MS, we go for a couple of fellowships, we try to figure out which again extra, like if I want to go into IVF, laparoscopy, a lot of things are there after obstetrics and gynecology. So choosing the right field, or if I want to settle with the basic MS, whatever, or if I want to do any super specialty. So suddenly this devastating news came to me. It was just 3 months since I had finished my post graduation, and then how this whole journey unturned, and how I had to face it all, and then come back. My treatment got over on April 30th, 2023, and I joined back work on June 22nd when Raja sir told yes, I could join back work, and I joined back. And then now I'm able to do my 12 hours duty, 24 hours duty, like every other normal doctor, I feel.
Are you right like a doctor or a patient?
I've written both like a doctor as well as a patient. I've tried my best to keep the work simple. I've tried to explain the medical terms in the most simplest way by putting a footer in the book so that everybody can read it and it will be an inspiration to everyone.
Any plan to bring the book in other languages?
Not yet, sir. Not yet, sir. But maybe in future.
Thank you.